everybody. Happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Dough Show. Man, what a day so far, huh? I don't know if you ever have one of those days where you just get stuff done. You're just going and going and going and going, and you just feel like, man, I'm getting stuff done today. That's how I feel today. Anyways, I wanted to share today with you on the Dough Show some interesting interviews that I've done. If you've never seen this before, my name is Dustin Tibbetts. I'm a financial advisor with Jazz Wealth Managers. We manage accounts for you, any size, any customer. We have customers that are retired and very wealthy. We have customers that are just beginning and are putting their first few dollars in there. So we work with you on that. We have our own portfolios on our website that we build and manage for you. Just like in a 401k, you have some choices of funds there. We build and manage those portfolios for you. Of course, you can see our performance on the website if you'd like to take a look. So today what we're going to talk about is millionaires. One of the most fun things that I like to do is ask millionaires that I know are of that seven-figure status if I could buy them lunch. Anytime, no hurry, I always just say whenever, right? Now I bug them a little bit, right? So if you invite a millionaire out to lunch, they're not going to answer right back right away. So I pester them a little bit and I say, hey, up to you. Any day, it could be last minute, you feel like you're hungry and you got nobody to go out to eat with, I'll buy you lunch. And so it's been about 2 years, maybe a little less than that, but it's been about 2 years that I've done this. And 16 people in total, and I just, make little notes here and there. I'm not so much interested in, wow, you're a millionaire, oh man. I'm interested in how they got there and how they invest now. To me, I think that's really interesting. So these to me are people that got their dough straight at some point, which helped them create a net worth of over $1 million. What they're doing now with that money, I don't know, right? Maybe they're not managing it correctly. Maybe we have a difference of opinion there. But I'm just more curious, how do you invest? How does a millionaire invest versus a beginner? Because there's a lot of misconceptions about beginning investing, right? When you're just getting started, you're hearing all this, not nonsense, but you're hearing all of this stuff from different angles, and you have to sort of decide what's best for you. And so a lot of times in that beginning phase, it's like a child. If you teach a child to say nothing but bad words, the child will grow up saying bad words, right? Does that make them a bad person? No, it's the knowledge that they absorbed, right? So anyways, I just thought I'd go through this. We won't take very long for you today. Couple little things there. We have 16 total that we're going to cover. We have 7 are millionaires just purely from investing in the stock market, not real estate or anything. 7 of them are millionaires because they've built up that net worth. And to be honest, you think of a millionaire as some, like, oh my God, it's a millionaire, like sort of celebrity, or I don't know, like someone that obviously did a good job, but you think of millionaire in terms of a guy that can sort of buy things that he wants and do whatever. Most of these people, by the way, walk right past you on the street. You'd never know. Kind of the millionaire next door scenario there. But 7 of them made it just by investing. One of them, by the way, it's a lady. One of them is such a contrarian. And all that means is when the market is up, she's pissed. When the market is down, she's like salivating. She gets all excited. You can like hear the energy in her voice. I've only talked to her a few times like over the last year, a little bit. But you can just tell when the markets are down, she's excited. I follow her social media and everything. She goes crazy about the markets falling. True contrarian, loves to invest that way. It's not for everybody, but that's how she does it. One of them is a guy that actually sold a janitorial business. They did like commercial cleaning, and they would clean like the bathrooms of banks and stuff overnight. So when people showed back up to work, they had a nice clean bathroom, clean offices and all that. He sold the business. That's how he made his money. One of them made the money through real estate. They started by flipping houses. I believe they have, at the last time I talked, had about a dozen rental properties. And that's how they got there, right? So they don't have $1 million in cash, $1 million in net worth from real estate. The other one did property management, then got into real estate. And then a lot of the other ones, there's not many left, but a lot of the other ones, they are in the medical profession. They're physicians currently, or maybe close to retirement physicians. So they have higher incomes, and because of that, they've been able to save more. So one of the questions I asked them is, all right, how do you invest now, right? When you were a kid or younger and didn't have as much money, different story. How do you invest your money right now? What are you investing in? What are the choices? One guy said, I don't know, I have no idea. He's got a guy for that. So naturally, I pitched him our business, and we'll talk about him in a minute. But one of them has no idea how he's invested market-wise, right? He knows what he owns, and he knows the business that he owns, and of course that. But as far as investments, he doesn't really know. Two of them are actually customers of ours here at Jazz Wealth, and so they are invested in our portfolios in one fashion or another. So when you go to our website, you click on portfolios, you'll see 7 portfolios there. Click on any one, and you'll see the performance. They are invested in a combination of those. So that gives you an idea of how 2 of them are invested. Even if you have lots of money, those are still great for, well, their particular goals. They're one of them is very close to retirement, I believe. Yeah, he looks so young. It's hard to tell. Now, one guy says, where was my note on that? One guy says he likes to invest in individual stocks. He is not our customer. I have tried so hard to get him to come over to Jazz Wealth. I pick on him all the time. He gets it. He's got a guy, right? He loves the guy that he uses. You're not going to change his mind. But I still, I throw it out there. He likes to invest in individual stocks. And his answer is, I pick individual stocks. He's got a lot of them, by the way, and they're really focused in one category. But he likes it because he's a business owner. I think he manages close to 100 people or has close to 100 employees. I think he went over. One or the other. He's close or he went over. He said something about going over, I believe. Anyways, he likes analyzing businesses. So he picks individual stocks because he likes to just take a look. He says, I get cash flow, I get earnings, I get how people spend money on CapEx, right? Capital expenditures, growing their business, investing back into business. He likes to look at companies and invest that way. Now, the saying is, earnings grows the market. Earnings also grows stocks. There are very few stocks out there that grow consistently over time that their earnings are not also consistently growing. So very important. Now that's what he likes to do. So that's one guy. Question. If he likes to pick individual stocks and does it that way, is he wrong? Is it wrong to say, Warren Buffett's a great example. Warren Buffett touts the idea of most people should buy index funds. But yet he goes and invests in just a few businesses. He's actually we found out yesterday or today what companies he's increased his stake in. So does that mean Warren Buffett's wrong and you shouldn't do index funds? No, index funds might be for somebody, but that's Warren Buffett's approach. This guy is a mini Warren Buffett in my opinion, and he likes to pick individual stocks. That doesn't mean he's wrong. I might disagree with the stocks he picks. Another advisor might be selling mutual funds and they want them to pick mutual funds, of course. So you got to be careful who tells you what's right and what's wrong. This guy happens to enjoy it. He says that it's a mixed bag. Does he get them right all the time? Does he find winners all the time? No, and that's understandable. In the long run, he's been fine. So that's that guy. Likes to just buy a few stocks. Nothing wrong with that. I can work with that. Okay, so here's another guy. So this guy, remember the question is, how do you invest now? That was what I asked these people. One guy, he has 42,000 shares of a company. It's one of our customers, by the way. He has 42,000 shares. I don't even know if I'm allowed to tell you that. I'm not going to say any names or anything, of course, but he decided that the path for him was 42,000 shares of, let me write that down. 42,000 shares at the moment. Perfectly even. And he decided, here's how he's going to go about this. I'm not going to tell you the name of the company, but it's a big it's a dividend stock. And so what he said is he breaks this into 21,000 shares, 21,000, and half of it he leaves for the dividend. It's not, it's a good dividend, we'll say, but half of it he leaves for the dividend, just sits there and lets that money soak, right? And it's a lot of money. It's very cool to watch this happen. The other half, he says, Dustin, rent it out. Rent it out to people. Just like property. You've seen the videos. I do videos on this all the time where we can take some of your stock positions, we can rent them out when you get close to retirement or if you have a sizable chunk of money you're trying to save. It does not work on the small accounts, so keep that in mind. We got to grow your account first, and then when you get that large balance or you're close to retirement or you're in retirement, then we rent it out. This is the only position he has, by the way. We don't do it that way. I said, when I introduced it to the guy, I said, this is how we're going to do it. I'm going to build this portfolio for you. Then we're going to rent out all these pieces like property, okay? By the way, if you're one of our customers, in 2 weeks, we're doing that class. I'm going to go over it top to bottom so that you know what to expect when you get to retirement. Anyways, and he said, nope, don't want to do that. I'm happy to be your customer. I'm happy to let you advise me. I help him with his business as well. But I want, well, now we've worked up to 42,000 shares, and I want to split it. I want some of the dividend, because the deal is if you rent this position, you don't get the dividend. So he didn't like that. Split it in half. Half gets the dividend, half we rent out for income, and that's a lot of money he makes on doing that. Very interesting. So just so you know, there's more than one way to invest, and it doesn't mean that's right or wrong. It's what he wants to do. So a couple of the other people are heavy on exchange-traded funds and stocks. Most of these people do not have mutual funds, but the most important thing that I want to point out to you, not one of the 16 people are invested in index funds, Bitcoin, pot stocks, or any other sort of, oh my God, it's going to be the next great thing. Doesn't mean you can't try that. If you think wireless power is the way of the future, okay, take a shot. Not with everything you have, but you could take a shot on that. The point is, when I ask them, what do you think about Bitcoin? They don't care. They don't know. They're not rude about it, by the way. I'm sort of gruff, I guess, but they say, I don't really know enough about it. I don't get it. A couple people say they get it. They just don't see the future. They don't believe in it. That's fine. A couple people believe in it but aren't investing in it. They don't want to touch it with their money. Pot stocks, nobody fell in that trap. And so that's really important for you guys to see that who invests in Bitcoin? Leave a comment. Who is currently invested in Bitcoin? Go on, I don't know, YouTube, and just type Bitcoin trading or something. And when you look at that, you're going to see a bunch of younger people that want to show or claim success. No problem. It's how day trading used to be back in the day. You used to type in day trading, well, not so much on YouTube, but other places. You'd type in day trading, and it was a bunch of kids that were like, look at all the money I make, I day trade, and whatever. Well, I know from being around actual traders, I know that they're not really telling the truth, right? They may do well at times, but statistically, they're going to be about 50-50. So we knew that. Anyways, Bitcoin, the people that are wanting to trade it only want to trade it. And so a lot of the feedback I got from millionaires was, what's the actual value? What is it used for, right? You take $1, you can go use it for something. You take a Bitcoin, you can't really go use it for anything yet. And to them, or for most of them, that was the deciding factor. When Bitcoin becomes usable for everything, now it has a use other than trading. Otherwise, people that trade Bitcoin, just go trade futures. It's the same thing. You can make a lot more money trading futures. Futures have no real use. You're not actually keeping the barrel of oil that you're trading or the 1,000 barrels of oil that you're trading, but you can make a lot more money, put up a lot less money to trade it. So that's a separate topic. We'll talk about that in the future. The point is, none of them chase the sort of hot topic, the big media push type items like pot stocks and Bitcoin and things like that. Something that really stuck out to me because, you know what I mean? A lot of you like to chase that stuff. What money are we throwing after that could have been invested in a more stable way? Okay, so I asked the question, this goes way back now. I asked the question, why no index funds? Why don't you use index funds? Because you know what I hear all the time? People are told to use index funds because it's low cost. I'll tell you why I think, but I'm not important at the moment. We're talking about millionaires. So I got answers like I wanted more options, I wanted more diversity, I wanted to be more global. One guy in particular said, no, this was the lady. This was the lady from above. She said, what index do I pick? And so I'll pose that question to you. If you pick an index fund, which index are you picking? Do you even know what an index is, right? Most people that call me and they go, Dustin, I was thinking about investing in index funds or your products or something else, right? Most people that call me, I go, well, which index were you thinking about picking? They can't answer the question. And not that these are not dumb people. You guys are bright people that give me a call. Of course, I get it. But you can't answer the question because all your mind says, it was told, invest in index funds, invest in index funds. And so you do it, but you don't know what it is. Really important there. Okay, one guy said, index funds are a great place to start in his opinion, but as you grow, so does your opportunities and things that he obviously found along the way. It's like a bank. You go to a bank as a kid, you start putting money in, nobody at the bank calls you and says, hey, how's it going today? As you grow, some of you may know this, right? As you grow and your account balance starts growing, all of a sudden the bank calls you. The guy's like your best friend. He calls up and says, yo, Dustin, how's it going today? Good. Hey, it's so-and-so from the bank down the road. Remember you got a bank account with us? Yeah, what'd I do wrong, right? That was the very first time it happened to me. I was like, I'm sorry. Did I not pay something or what happened? I'm sorry. And the guy's like, no, just wanted to touch base with you, give you some opportunities, show you what we offer, give you an update. You think he calls everybody at the bank? No, they're not calling the people with $5 in their account. So anyways, the same happens in investing. As you grow, all of a sudden new opportunities come along. We can rent these things out. Dividends make a lot more sense, right? Can't argue that one. And so that was what one guy was saying. Great place to start, but as you get more opportunities, as you grow in size, that was his response. The best answer I got from the millionaires as to why you don't invest in an index fund, I never really say it in the videos. Maybe it's a good thing to say, but the best answer that I got, the guy said he compares his returns to the goal that he has, not the S&P 500. He would like to do as well or better, but he prefers his goal to track his performance relative to his goal. And I thought that was really cool because the S&P 500 is just a benchmark. The NASDAQ is just a benchmark. The Dow is just a benchmark. The Russell 2000 is just a benchmark, right? You have to choose which benchmark you want to follow, which is just an index, right? So what other industry do we do that? Are you taught to go buy real estate and then compare it to some other real estate and see how successful you were? That doesn't exist. You go buy a property, you rent it out, and you hold it. It appreciates over time. But can you look at that property and go, my property relative to an index of properties is doing much less, is gaining much less? You don't do that. Do you invest in like a baseball card? Or I had an old classic truck, a 54 Ford truck. Do I buy a Ford truck? To me, it was an investment. Do I buy that and then have it benchmark it against the S&P 500 or benchmark it against some other thing? No, it doesn't exist. You invest in something and then you measure its success relative to why you invested in it. And I thought that was really, really cool that the guy came up with it like that, because sometimes, it's not clear to people, why do we use these benchmark indices? There's really no reason, right? Unless, for example, if you are buying S&P 500 companies in hopes of doing better than the S&P 500, well then sure, yeah, that's fine. But if you're buying gold because you're scared to buy the market, and then you're comparing that to the S&P 500, you're going to be very disappointed. You're not going to see performance anywhere close to the S&P 500. All right, so that's that. Last one. Here we go. If you could do it all over, I always ask rich people, if you could do it all over, what would you do? Anything. Doesn't have to be investing, but I prefer the answer to be investing. One guy said, this just happened, by the way, to him. One guy said he would have gave he got a divorce. He would have gave his wife the house instead, and he would have kept the IRA. They had negotiated, are they going to split the equity in the IRA as well as the house, or since it's about equal, can we just, one of us take one and one of us take the other? He chose the house, and he said, damn it, I wish I would have chose the IRA, because last year he missed out on 20%. He did not make the same amount in his house. He just thought that was funny. Another guy said if he could do it all over again, he couldn't do it this way. He wouldn't have been allowed to, but he would have wanted to only buy certain stocks when he was younger. This is the stock picker guy that likes to buy companies. He likes to look at individual stocks. When he was younger, it was $30 per trade to do transactions, and he would not have had even enough money to spread out in the way he liked to do it. I keep trying to pitch to him the fractional share idea. Of course, we have fractional shares here at Jazz Wealth. You can buy 100 stocks in like our dividend fund. You could buy 100 stocks with $1 if you really wanted to, right? Because we could divide it up into fractions of shares. So he said, although he couldn't go back in time and wouldn't be able to do it this way, if that were an option when he were younger, he would have loved that. Sort of I should have made that more of a sales pitch at this point, right? But that was his answer. And then This guy, I've tried so hard to get this guy to come over here. He said if he could, he would have started with the advisor that he has now and just stayed with him the whole time. Because this advisor over time pushed him to invest aggressively. The advisor makes money in a way that I disagree with, and that's why I try to get the guy to move his business here. He won't. There's no way, because he likes the guy. He likes when the guy bugs him to invest more aggressively. He likes the updates he gets from him and so on. So we do that here with our customers. Every month I update you on the portfolios. Every week we do classes. We just did a great one last night on speed and volatility. But that guy said basically he had bounced around over his life. If he'd have met this guy earlier in life, he'd have went with him. And I hope some people feel that way about old Jazz Wealth. Anyways, that's what I got for you. Kind of interesting, right? To see different perspectives on how people like to invest. If you have IRAs or individual accounts, rollover accounts that you need to get settled with, I hope you'll consider us here at Jazz Wealth. I do these classes just to teach you something. The more I teach you, maybe the more you realize, hey, we're doing something that's pretty cool over here, and maybe you'll keep us in mind. I'm a horrible salesperson, I'll admit that. But I am supposed to say, if you get a second or if I've helped you in any way, could you hit the subscribe button or hit the bell? There's a bell somewhere there, and it tells you that we go live. It's going to be an interesting closing beat today. At 5 o'clock every day, we do the closing beat, stock market update. You won't want to miss this one today. The stock market's down pretty aggressively today, although from last check, it seems to be trying to make a bit of a comeback there. So if I don't see it, enjoy the rest of your day. We'll talk to you then. And Bruce says I would gladly pay you Tuesday for $1 million today. Yeah. I go through 10K like SOB. I pick through individual companies like, oh, okay. Yeah, same idea. Jason, he understands the bank comment. Yeah, where the bank starts calling you more and more. I actually, quick story, multi-millionaire, got to go to his house up in New York. And it was a large bank, the one that I don't like. I'm not going to say their name. But they, what they were offering him, I had never heard of before. And I'm not like some big wealthy guy, right? This guy was stupid rich. And I just thought it was funny. I'm like, well, I used to work with the same bank. They did offer me some things, but they never offered me that. And what he was getting offered was just off the charts leverage sort of thing. So it's interesting. There's always a next level, and it's like the secret menu at Starbucks, right? The more you make, the more they're going to go, hey, now that you're here, how about $500,000 a line of credit? You can buy as long as you buy real estate with it. And you're like, yeah, let's do it. So anyways, Jason, love it, man. We'll talk to you soon. For the rest of you, hey, I'm going to leave it there. I know it's been long. Enjoy the rest of your day. Quick video on that topic. What are we doing tomorrow? If you are around tomorrow, we're doing What's Your Investing Number? We're going to talk about investing for a goal and specifically all that geeky number stuff going involved in there. So the Dose Show tomorrow is going to be What's Your Investing Number? It doesn't have to be retirement. It could be anything at all. We'll see you then. Enjoy the rest of your day. Check us out at jazzwealth.com, and we'll be back at 5 o'clock for the closing beat.
Why should you choose Jazz Wealth as your retirement or long-term investing service? Our portfolios are managed by us, not some faceless mutual fund manager. Our private classes will teach you everything about investing and getting your dough straight. Best of all, our fiduciary standard means your best interests comes before ours.